I am going live right now. I am at the farm. It's Friday. You can see it is starting to get hot out here. Kind of getting up in the 90s and humid. I did not have time to film a YouTube video this week, mainly because it was the last week of my daughter's school. She got out yesterday, and so we were just trying to finish up stuff for that and enjoy that time with her. So I figured I would go live today. I've had a few questions about my wildflower field because things are taking off. It looks really pretty, and I've had people ask me how I developed the wildflower area and how they could do this at their own home or farm. So I figured I would show you guys how it looks now, and I could discuss the process of establishing the wildflower field. So let me stand up because I'm sitting on the bench, and you can see behind me. So the field kind of stretches from the side entrance here and kind of goes down this way and then stops. So there's two sections because originally I planned this so that people could come take pictures, walk around, just enjoy the area, and I wanted a space in between for people to walk. So if you are interested in starting a wildflower field at your home or your farm, I would, pick a big open area that gets plenty of sun, and you need to try to get rid or kill the grass and the weeds that are there as much as possible. This will allow the wildflowers to get established, and in the future they'll reseed themselves and take over, and you won't have as much of the grass and the weeds growing up in there. So what we did is we tilled the area up because I have a tractor with a tiller, so that was just the easiest way to do it. Went through it once, waited a week, and then went through it again. If you do not have a tiller or a tractor, you could lay down tarps and just wait. Usually, within a couple of months, everything should kind of be dead under the tarp. So you could do that to help kill the grass and the weeds. You could use chemicals if you wanted. I know people that have used Roundup or something similar. Now, personally, I am anti-chemical. I try to use as few chemicals as possible, especially in a wildflower area. I'm building it, as maybe like a profit area for the farm, but also just to support the local, pollinators and wildlife. So I really don't want to put anything unnatural down there if I can help it. So that's why I ended up tilling it to start with. But some people have used chemicals, so it's just kind of like a personal choice. You could get, if it was a smaller area, you could rent a sod cutter from like Home Depot or Lowe's. However, sod cutters are really labor intensive and would take a long time to cut up and remove the sod. So I think if you have a small area at your home that you want to do, that would work just fine. But if you have a large field like me, that is going to be, I would say, almost impossible to do. Samrat says hi. Hi there. So we went through and we tilled up the whole area twice. And then I got a bunch of seed from Wild Seed Farms, mainly, which is in Texas. It's the largest wildflower farm in the United States, and it's not far from me, so I try to support them. But they have some like local area wildflower mixes, so no matter where you live in the US, you can get one that's kind of made more for your area and what are the native flowers that grow in your area. I also had some from American Meadows, and then I think some mixes from some other places too. Like I think I got a couple of random mixes at like Tractor Supply. So, just try to look up, if you can, some wildflowers that are native to your area, and you'll want to plant those. Now, if you live in the South in a hotter environment, you're going to plant in the fall. That is key because we have very mild winters here. The wildflowers need that cold stratification, over the winter. So you'll want to come in and throw seed down in October or November. If you live up north and you get a lot of snow, you can still do that, because you have to remember wildflowers are in the wild. They are used to the cold, they are used to snow and everything like that. So you can throw them down to the fall in the fall, or you can wait until like late winter and throw them down on top of the snow. And they'll get down in there and grow. So, but I've talked to some people that said like, oh man, I've had trouble growing wildflowers where I live, and I found that they were living in a hotter climate and they were trying to plant them in the springtime. You're going to be the most successful, and you really have to plant them in the fall. So just make a mental note, if you want to do this next year, October, November, that's when you want to plant your wildflowers. Now, I literally just walk the field and just toss seed sporadically. I had different mixes that I tossed in different areas. I had a bluebonnet mix I tossed down on the end. And then what I did, because in nature, like, they're just going to explode seed everywhere and self-seed. But if you want to really like improve germination rate, come behind and you want to press the seeds into the soil on top of it. You could walk over the seeds, use your hands if it's a small area. You could drive your car, your tractor. That's what I did. I took the tractor after I had threw the seed everywhere, and I just drove over the area a couple of times with the tractor. It was really fast. That kind of pressed the seeds into the ground. And then I left them alone. And I will say that I also timed this by planting the seeds the day before it was supposed to rain. So I got them into the soil. The next day it rained, and then I think like a week later it rained again, because we have a little bit of a rainier winter. If you don't do that, you could water them in. I don't think it's absolutely necessary, but maybe if you wanted to water them in just once right after you plant, and then leave them alone. Do not fertilize them. Do not water them. Once again, this is wildflowers. What are they getting in their natural environment? They're getting whatever the weather is. So that could be sporadic rain, lots of rain, snow, cold, hot temperatures. Leave them alone and they will bloom. So this is one of the easiest things that you can do to add, pollinator flowers, beauty, profit to your farm or your business, is planting wildflowers, because it's so labor non-intensive, I guess, if you want to say. So I planted everything in like October, November, got it down, left it alone, and then things started to pop up around February and March, and then have continued on. I planted mixes of like cool season wildflowers, the stuff that starts to bloom really early, as well as summer stuff, which is in bloom right now. And what I'm doing is I'm just, once again, leaving it alone. I just kind of mow around it so that I can keep the grass and the weeds at bay to help out. And so it's easier to walk around and enjoy. And then stuff will start to die back a little bit through the summer and into the fall. And come fall, I will mow it down, because by that time things will go to seed. So mowing it down kind of helps disperse the seed. If you live in Texas like me, that's what you'll see them do, like the highway crews do, is they let everything kind of go in the spring. Oops, sorry, I have a phone call. They kind of let everything go in the spring and the summer, just growing wildly, and then they'll come through and mow it down, and then they plant more seeds. So that's what I'm going to do. Probably around like September, October, I will come through and just mow it down. I'm not going to till it. And then I will plant extra seed so I can get even more wildflowers this next year, add some other mixes, and then yet again leave it alone. I'm not prepping the soil. I'm not adding compost or fertilizer, nothing. In fact, a lot of wildflowers, if you add those kinds of things, they will get really green and bushy and not flower. They like poor soil. Think about driving down the highway, the side of the highway where you see all those beautiful fields of bluebonnets and fire wheels and, all those flowers. they are not doing anything to prep those areas. They are literally throwing the seed out, maybe watering it in, maybe not, and it is growing. So that's kind of the basis of how to plant a wildflower field. So let me turn the camera around and I will show you how it looks and kind of show you like some of the flowers. So I'll hold it. All right, there's my house. So you can see here, that's our side gate that you come in. And I wanted to do the wildflower area over on this side. So if people wanted to come take pictures, you kind of had this like tree canopy in the background instead of houses or fences. So I thought it would look nice. And like you can see, and then like a middle area where you can walk, and then a little back area. Some of the spots did not get, oh man, okay, I'm gonna have to go back a little bit house, but yeah, so the leafcutter ants, they made like all these piles. I have some starting back up over there. I need to spray, and once the seedlings started popping up, they actually cut down a lot of the seedlings, especially like my blue bonnets. They came in and cut down almost all of the blue bonnets, which was such a bummer. So you know, the spring flowers, they all germinated and were starting to grow, and then had a tough time getting going because of the ants. So I know this for next year, and I'm going to keep on top of them for next year. But you can see this and look really pretty. They're growing really well. It's mostly black-eyed Susans and lemon bee balm. Oh man, sorry y'all, lose connection. I'm really trying to show y'all the flowers. So these are black-eyed Susans, which is a type of rudbeckia. This is the lemon bee balm that the bees and the butterflies go absolutely nuts for. The bees definitely love the black-eyed Susans, but the butterflies, they tend to prefer like purple and pink flowers. So they love, you'll see a ton of butterflies out here. They love the lemon bee balm. Have some like wild verbena. Like I said, the little fire wheels here. You have, there's some, oh, I'm blanking on the name. Bachelor buttons up in there. Let's see what else. There was some other stuff that has already died back because of the heat. This stuff likes the heat, so that's why it's growing so nicely. And I think the yellow and the purple look really pretty. But it's really pretty just to see everything kind of like blowing in the wind, and I'll just come walk out here sometimes and enjoy like seeing all the bees and the butterflies, and I see a lot of birds come up in here eating stuff. And then of course we had a fox up in here hunting birds. So it's really interesting to see all of the wildlife visiting, but that's, you know, that's partly why I did it. And like I said, hopefully in the future this will be a good spot that people can come take like family photos. I think I'm going to actually inquire if any of my neighborhood photographers want to come by over the summer and try it out. But yeah, so if you have any questions on how to do wildflowers, start a wildflower field, comment below on this video. Let me turn this around. Thank you guys for tuning in. And I will see y'all in my next video. Feel free to send me a message or comment if there's something that you want to see me do. And y'all have a great weekend.